EF English or Lingoda? Which one should you choose? Well, neither. Yes, you heard me right. Let me repeat that in case you don't know the meaning of neither. I don't recommend Lingoda. I don't recommend EF English either. Listen to me carefully. Paying for speaking is like paying for sex. And how do I know that? Well, it's on the cover of my book, Virtually Native. Here, remember that. Remember that the next time you pay to speak. People who pay to speak are either delusional or lonely. That's also in my book. I recommend neither of these two platforms, schools, or whatever they call themselves. Lingoda touts itself as the #1 trusted online language school. On the other hand, EF English claims to be the world's #1 online English school. Gone are the days of moral integrity. Learn English 3 times faster. 3 times faster progress when compared to learning with traditional classroom methods. Which means that Lingoda is 3 times slower than EF English, for the former describes itself as a traditional school that has moved online. Okay, in all seriousness, Lingoda and EF English are basically carbon copies of each other, with some minor differences. They both claim to have magical methods, but neither of them offers anything different from a traditional classroom that has moved online. Remember your language classes in middle and high school? Well, the same level of boredom, but online. They both offer group classes as well as private lessons. Lingoda's group classes are 1 hour long, whereas EF's are 45 minutes long. Lingoda uses Zoom for its lessons, whereas EF some kind of proprietary software. Both work equally well. In case you've forgotten, I recommend neither of these two platforms. Paying for speaking is like paying for sex. Remember that. The learning materials are very similar, based on the useless situational approach of delivering language. Speaking on the phone, at the airport, dealing with complaints, and countless other situations and fake dialogues around them. Lingoda's lessons are at a fixed schedule, whereas EF English offers lessons every 30 minutes. Very weird. One relatively big difference between Lingoda and EF English is that Lingoda's fake lessons are conducted by native speakers of English, whereas my experience with EF English was the following. I had a total of 4 lessons with EF English. The first lesson was conducted by a woman from India, the second was a South African, and the third was a woman from the Philippines. All spoke very good English, but not what we consider a native accent of English. My fourth lesson was with a native speaker of English from North America, and was by far the worst of the 4. Another big difference between Lingoda and EF English is that Lingoda offers fake lessons not just for English, but also for German, French, and Spanish, whereas EF English, as the name suggests, wastes your time in just one language. Prices. It's hard to make a direct comparison between Lingoda and EF English, for they offer different lessons and payment plans. Both are Jesus fuck. Both are subscription-based, with EF being the much more affordable one. For about $75 a month, you get 8 20-minute private lessons, plus up to 30 45-minute group classes, to a total of 2,000 hours of meaningless chatter. An absolute waste of 2,000 hours and $75. Lingoda seems to be the much more sensible choice, for you will only lose 4 hours of your life and part with 60 of your hard-earned dollars. Unless you are dumb enough to go for the 200 hours at $400 a month. Both companies offer similar free trials. Lingoda gives you 3 one-hour group classes for free, whereas EF English offers 3 45-minute group classes, plus 1 20-minute private lesson free of charge. An absolute waste of time in either case. People who pay for speaking are either delusional or lonely. Which are the final words from the sponsor of this video, my book Virtually Native, which is available on Amazon and virtuallynative.com. You have one life. Don't waste it.